Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here and welcome to Wales where we're on another bike tour. So welcome folks to beautiful Wales where it's a little bit damp underfoot, but the forecast is actually looks like it's going to brighten up as the day goes on. It's about 17 degrees today, so actually quite nice riding weather. Out on a bike tour with a few friends and Mrs. Fly. We're staying at this hotel here, the Tinny Cornell Hotel, something like that. I can't begin to pronounce Welsh words, as you probably know. I'm not recording the whole tour, but today, because we've done lots of films before in Wales, but today we're off on a route that I don't think I've filmed before, so I thought I'd bring the camera along and bring you with us. So stick around and stay tuned. Let's take a bit of a ride in Wales. Okay, so we're off then on this ride, and yeah, it's a ride that I don't think I've filmed before on the channel, so I thought I'd bring the cameras on, as I say. And the ride, basically, we're going to end up down at the Elan Valley reservoirs that we've been to a few times on various trips before, but I don't think I've ever taken the cameras along. But we're going to do it via a circuitous route. We're going via a place called Towan, and then Aberdyfi, Aberystwyth, Machynlleth, and down that way. So that's kind of the sort of route of the day. Should be a nice ride. The forecast, as I say, is set to get better as the day goes on, which is good because it's a bit damp at the moment, as you can see. But yeah, we'll see what the day brings. I've got no particular route planned in the sat-nav. I've got Mrs. Flyer on the back. Hopefully you can see her on the 360 camera. And she's my sat-nav. So ignore what it's saying on the screen. And you may also notice, if you're eagle-eyed, that I've got a tyre pressure warning indicator flashing. And it's saying that the front tyre is 37 psi. I think it might be that the temperature's actually gone up since we got here yesterday. And I think that might be slightly overinflated as opposed to under, but I'll check that out later. Before we left home, I did actually get a tyre pressure warning because they were low. I pumped them up and they were all fine, and then the temperatures have changed since we got here, so it may be that. I'm hoping so anyway, but something to keep my eye on. I hope I haven't picked up a slow puncher in the gravel car park that we were parked on overnight. Anyway, that's the plan for the day and the state of play. Hopefully, as I say, the weather will improve as we go, but even if the weather's grim, well, Wales always delivers, doesn't it? Just a brilliant place. If you find yourself with a spare weekend and you live in England, it's not too far to go. Great riding, sort of on our doorstep. So our riding pals that you may see in the mirrors every now and then, and I'm sure I'll introduce you to them later, are people that if you've watched the channel for a while you may recognise. They were guys that we met on our Alaska tour a couple of years ago, and then we went to Tuscany with them last year as well. That's Paul and Sandy on their RT, and Jim and Fiona on another RT. So we're all on the big tourers today. And I say Wales is on our doorstep. Jim and Fiona, in fact, have come across from Northern Ireland to ride in Wales because they've not done this before. So hopefully they'll get a taste of what it's got to offer. All right, speak to you shortly. Alright, I thought I'd just show you the bikes that we're on this trip, just because I know you like bikes. So here we go. It's we've got two RTs. Here we go. This is Jim's RT, an R1250 RT. I think it's about a 2020, something like that. My trusty Goldwing for me and Mrs. Fly. And then we've got Paul and Sandy on their RT, which is a 1200 RT. So yeah, archetypal touring bikes. The big beasts are in town. So this little trip that we're doing as sort of a test. I mentioned in a previous video that later on this year we've got planned a big European tour, and that's all under the planning still. Cannot wait for that. The only issue is my dodgy shoulder has made a recurrence, and I'm not entirely sure whether that tour is going to happen when we planned it for this year. So it will happen at some point. I just might have to wait for more surgery. So we're doing this anyway as a bit of a test run to see how I go a few days on the big bike. So that's kind of what it's about for us, but it's a great way to do a little test run, isn't it? Because you can't go wrong in Wales. Well, I'm glad to report it's a few minutes on since I last spoke to you, and that tyre pressure warning has gone off now, look. So it's settled down. Maybe it's just a matter of getting the tyres warmed up a bit. Anyway, I'm glad about that. You don't really want to be getting a puncture out here, do you? Especially when you're leading a bit of a tour. So in typical British fashion, I have to talk about the weather. We actually rode up a couple of days ago, and then yesterday we had a great day riding through parts of Snowdonia, with Jim and Fiona, and the weather was absolutely glorious. Blue skies, just perfect. Great views, great visibility, and of course I didn't film that bit. And today you get up and it's grey and raining out the window. But there we go. That's Wales for you. But it won't dampen our spirits. It's just nice to be out on the bike. Got to get more use out of this Goldwing. This is exactly what it was invented for. It's lovely to spend some time back in the saddle again. Right, next stop. It may not be a stop, but it's next place we're heading for is Towyn, which is on the coast, I believe. Hopefully we'll get some views of the sea. We shall see. So folks, this is the town of Towyn, and it said beach this way, so we're looking for the beach. Doesn't look very beachy so far. And it's one of these Welsh 20-mile-an-hour limits, which is why I'm riding very slowly indeed through here. Oh look, beach straight on, excellent. Alright, well there's a couple of people that live in Buckinghamshire, right in the middle of the country. We very rarely see the sea, so if we get a chance, if you see a sign that says beach, we take it. We need to see the sea. Whether it will be worth seeing is another question. This is the middle of summer, folks. This is what a British beach looks like at the end of June. There's the sea. Cool. Let's go and have a look. Alright, off we jump. Ta-da! And here they are, the crew and the assembled vehicles, of which more later. Right, let's show you the beach. Not looking that inviting, to be fair, is it? Yeah. But a nice beach nonetheless. Right, onwards. Okay folks, roll on 10 minutes or so, and here we are coming into Aberdiffe, or as us English call it, Aberdyfi. Just turned the camera on as the views changed for the worse. It was lovely coming down there. There were sand dunes, golf courses, and lovely views of the sea and the mountains. We are technically in Snowdonia National Park here. Another 20-mile-an-hour zone that Wales, of course, is infamous for now. Some of these apparently are going to be changed in due course, but at the moment, pretty much whenever you're in a built-up area in Wales, it's a 20-mile-an-hour zone. And on the big old bike with DCT, it's actually quite difficult to keep at that sort of speed. Not because the DCT or the bike is a problem, but it just feels really, really slow. It feels like we're going walking pace, but there we go. I think the police are fairly sharp, and there are cameras everywhere as well, so I'm trying to stick to the speed limits on this trip through Wales. Once you get out onto the open road, it's absolutely fine. And the majority of the open roads are national speed limits, so 60 miles an hour, and that's good. But yeah, these 20s, a little bit tiresome. Just check to make sure we've still got our friends behind. We have. I can see lights aplenty behind. I'm not used to this leading tours game. It adds a whole new sort of level of stress to it. Oh, there we go. Bit of beach there. I remember coming here before now, actually. Oh yes, it has a familiar look about it. I was going to say not exactly bustling, given it's the height of summer, but it is a Monday when we're filming this, so you know, a damp Monday. I think we're going to be out on the beach. I don't know. It is a lovely spot though. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous here, although I'm fed up with this 20-mile-an-hour limit. Come on, give us a bit more. You sometimes find it goes to like 30 or 40 for about 100 yards, and then it goes to national speed limits. In fact, up here, it's going to 40 up here, look. I wonder how long that'll last before we get another change. Anyway, I'll try not to whinge too much about the speed limits. And nationals. Nationals, as Brucey would say. Not that you want to be doing 60 around these, to be fair. If you could do 60 around here on a fully loaded 2-up Goldwing, you're a much better rider than me. But then I never claim to be a good rider, so that probably goes without saying. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I must just take this opportunity to say hi to the people we saw up at the Ponderosa on a Sunday morning, a couple of days ago, or yesterday, in fact it was, seems a couple of days ago, but it was only yesterday morning. Stopped in there for a quick cup of tea and to meet up with our friends. A number of you came and said hi, so lovely to meet you guys, and also had some messages afterwards from people that said they'd seen us there but didn't want to come and say hello because they felt they were going to disturb us or something. So don't ever feel like that. If you see us out and about at bikey places, do come and say hello. We won't Well, Mrs. Fly might bite your head off, but I'll be alright. Oh, I'm getting a dig in the ribs now. These sort of roads are just absolutely ideal for the Goldwing. Big sweepy roads, great surfaces as I say, and lovely views and scenery as well. These tend to be what A roads are like in Wales. You think that A roads are going to be big major thoroughfares, but actually they're perfect for these big touring bikes, and they're not to be avoided because you get some absolutely cracking routes on them, and a few white vans. I'm trying a new camera setup on this trip. I bought a little special sucker mount thing for the windscreen on this bike, which I put the camera on once before, and I had some comments saying that people didn't like it because you could see the suckery thing all the time. So I've gone with putting the 360 camera out on the side there on the hand grip, so hopefully that's not so in the way when I'm just doing these shots looking from the sort of rider's perspective, and it also then just gives me the option to have a few more different angles if I want them. This bike is so planted through the corners, it's brilliant. That's what 380 kilograms of weight does for you. Well folks, things have gone slightly south in that it has started to rain even though it wasn't forecast, and I'm stuck behind a white van, and I didn't put my waterproof legs on, I'm just in my jeans, so I'll keep them tucked up alongside the bike in the hope that this is just a short shower, but it looks pretty set in, doesn't it? Oh bother, what a numpty coming to Wales and not putting my waterproofs on. When will I ever learn? Alright, so we've made an executive decision actually not to stay in Aberystwyth, or not to stop in Aberystwyth, as it's a bit grim weather. Have done Aberystwyth a few times, and not to do it down, but on a grim day the beachfront isn't necessarily the nicest place in the world. So we're going to actually head on to our next location, which is Devil's Bridge, which is somewhere I personally have never been before, and was really the whole reason for doing this little outing today, because it's a good route to lead us into the reservoirs at Elan Valley, and we're hoping we'll find a little coffee shop there. So Devil's Bridge, next stop. Sorry Aberystwyth. So here we are, this is the village of Devil's Bridge. I'm not entirely sure what's here, apparently we've just missed a sign or something. That'll do. Alright, so we've made it to Devil's Bridge and the bike parking. There's also a little cafe here, which looks jolly good, but I thought it might be an opportune time to reintroduce you to our biking pals. So just here is Mrs. Fly having a chin wag. Anyway, can I reintroduce you to the lovely Fiona and Jim, who you may remember if you've been watching the channel for a while. Fiona, you're an expert on motorcycles. Which one have you come on today?
It's the red one.
Excellent. Right, let's talk to the man who actually knows what he's talking about. Not that you don't, Fifi. It's not all a bit funny there. Jimbo,
yes,
good to see you.
Tell me, how are you?
So we've seen you a few times on tours, haven't we? We saw you in Alaska and Tuscany.
Correct.
Each time you were riding a GS, I believe.
That's right,
yep.
yes.
But this time you're on your own bike.
I am.
Tell us about it.
Yep. R1250 RT.
Yep.
BMW, obviously.
Yep.
Done a bit of pillion riding with the GS and the RT, and I have to say, this one here, it's certainly lower centre of gravity and less wobbly when we stop two up, you know.
And how long have you had this one?
Probably about 2-3 years now, but I've had RTs for forever, you know.
And you've also got a GS as well at home, haven't you?
Yes, yeah.
So
both 1250s, yeah.
Okay, so how do you rate the GS versus the RT? If you were going to have one, which would it be?
If I was riding on my own, I think it'd have to be the GS, to be honest with you. Yeah.
And what about you, Fiona, from a pillion point of view?
This is probably just not quite as high to get onto.
So do you prefer this? Or not?
No, I don't. It's not a big difference. but it's just a wee bit easier to get, just a wee bit lower.
I thought it might be an opening there to change the bike, you know.
Yeah, sounds like it, doesn't it? Excellent, excellent. Right, let me reintroduce you to Paul and Sandy, who you also saw on the Alaska and Tuscany trips.
That's right. Yes.
Once again, this
Yes.
time you're on your own bike.
We are. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And
It's nice.
you've got the XR at home as well as an RT,
I've got
haven't
a
you?
900 XR at home, yes.
So did you go on the back of the XR at all?
No way.
Okay, so what do you make of the RT then?
The RT's lovely.
Because you've been on the back of a GS a lot too as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
And what do you
yes. The RT, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Paul,
definitely.
show us your bike. Tell us about it.
Here it is.
Nice.
My bike.
So this is the 1200.
1200, yes.
Yep.
I've got it all back in 2016. So
Right.
I bought it new 2016 prior to retirement.
Nice.
And the vision was I sold the GS, bought this to do more holidays. So we've been pretty much all over Europe on this.
And any regret selling the GS?
No,
Brilliant.
no,
Okay.
no.
So for you, do you prefer the RT overall?
Two up, it's much better
Yeah,
bike
yeah.
for what we do.
Yeah, yeah.
But
sure.
I do like the GS because obviously we've
They're
ridden,
great bikes,
we've
aren't they?
ridden
Yeah,
one
yeah.
through Alaska.
You're obviously a BMW man with the XR as well.
Yes, yeah,
So that's your hooligan bike, is it?
that is. It's a little hooligan bike, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're a little hooligan yourself,
I
aren't
am
you?
a little hooligan, yeah.
Little hooligans unite, I say.
Yeah.
Right, so we've come down the road. We've had a cup of tea and a bun, and that was all very pleasant. But we've just come down the road to the world famous how'd you say that, Paul? Whatever that is. Yeah, the Pontafinac, and we're just debating amongst us whether we can afford the £2 entrance fee. I think we're going to go for it, though, aren't we, kids?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes,
Right,
definitely.
let's go for it. Oh, and you can tap it and unwrap it, look.
Well, you've got to tap your own, haven't you?
Tap your own? Can't you just tap yours twice?
No, because I'll have gone through, won't I?
Oh, yeah. Flipping heck.
No, let Andy through first.
That's a good
He's
point.
clever, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Go on, tap it. I'm in.
Hang on. Authorising. Go, go.
Excellent, we're through. Okay, so I've got to the viewing area, and I can now see why it's called the Three Bridges viewing area, because there are actually, look, 3 bridges, one on top of the other.
Wow.
Isn't that bizarre? I've never seen anything quite like that. Right, so the intelligent ones amongst us have got a bit of intel on the Three Bridges situation. Fiona, you're the clever one amongst us. What do you? What's
can
this? What's
read.
the story here
I can
then?
read.
What's the story?
Well, the bottom bridge was 11th century, then 1753 was the next one that was built, and then
Isn't
in
that bizarre?
1901 the top bridge.
So we've decided this was £2 well spent. Right, so that was Devil's Bridge, and part of the waterfalls at least. Lovely little spot, definitely worth the £2, and the sun's coming out now. Right, we're going to head off now down to the Elan Valley, which was again the main point of the day. I'll have to conserve a bit of battery, I think, in the camera, so speak to you when we're a bit nearer. Alright, so the route to the Elan Valley from Devil's Bridge takes us we're going via a B road to Rhayader, which takes us over these Cambrian mountains, and it's so nice because the visibility is cleared right up now. Look, it's looking really nice, and what looks like an absolutely cracking road as well. Cue the music. Now that is what you call a valley. Absolutely beautiful. These old ruins here, these buildings apparently are old metal mines. And you can see there's certainly a lot of remnants of mining from the past here. Well, what a stunning road this has turned out to be. Fabulous. We were saying just now, it's it's a Monday when we're recording this, it's incredible how few motorcycles there are about. When we were on the road yesterday, a Sunday, it was absolutely packed. It was like every other vehicle was a motorcycle. It was brilliant. Well, check out these views, folks. We were going to do this route the opposite way around today, and we were going to do these Cambrian mountains at the start. But in fact, we're so glad we left it this afternoon and for the weather to clear a bit, because we would have missed all this stunning scenery. And it's amazing how just doing a route in the opposite direction to planned makes it completely different. I suppose that's obvious really, but yeah, we picked a winner today. The scale of the landscape around here is just, well, it's enormous, this place. It's magnificent. It's just amazing. I mean, there's just this one B road through these mountains and absolutely nothing else around. How lucky are we to have this as our playground to ourselves. Well done, Wales. Once again it delivers. Right, we just had a quick photo stopped back there. There's a cracking little pull-in and a nice view. So a few snaps, possible thumbnail material, I don't know. Right, we're heading on now. We get to the end of this road to Rhayader, hang a right, and then the Elan Valley reservoirs, and that'll be our mission complete. Just playing avoid the sheep. Now there's a feast for the eyes. Stunning. Okay, we're just passing the Elan Valley Visitor Centre on our left, and hopefully get some views of the reservoirs as we pass by. They do seem a little bit low compared to what we've seen in the past, but we'll see. It's very strange given we've had an awful lot of rain. Seems a bit weird that the reservoirs are low, but we'll find out. So there's our first dam. Very impressive. We've been in the past when that one's been in overflow mode, and it's quite something. I took a bit of footage on my iPhone. I'll see if I've still got it. I'll show you what that looks like. Oh, actually that reservoir looks pretty full. Alright, so I think we can claim today is a mission accomplished situation. The sun is now out. We've made it to the Elan Valley reservoirs, which was our final target for the day, and it's absolutely splendid. What a winner coming out on a Monday as well, because although it's great to see so many bikes out at the weekend, obviously it's not just bikes but cars and stuff as well at weekends, whereas it's pretty much deserted today now. Although I guess time is getting on a little bit, it's just past 4 o'clock. But yeah, what an absolute treat. And if you're ever in this area of mid Wales, mid to North Wales I suppose, then if you've not done it before, do come and check out the Elan Valley. It's a nice ride along here. So this reservoir is looking a little bit low. You can see these sort of banks at the side. It's not as low as I feared. Spectacular though around here. Absolutely amazing ride. It's been a top ride out today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Wow, Wales. Majestic, I think, Carol, would you say? We definitely did right doing this route back to front, because this morning this would have been rubbish. But look, that view is up there with anything I've ever ridden in the world. I honestly say that's as good as anything anywhere. The camera won't do it justice, but it's stunning. We'll be back, Wales, we'll be back. Alright, so we're clear of the Elan Valley reservoirs now. Cracking ride through as ever. Really good day's riding, as I say. But battery's nearly gone on the camera, so it's been running all day on that battery. That's amazing. These Osmo Action 4s are brilliant. But we're going to head back, similar road to what we've already been on actually. Head back to the hotel, have a nice meal. So I hope you've enjoyed that sort of bonus trip video. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.